The Tangipahoa Parish School Board welcomes comments from the citizens of Tangipahoa Parish, both for the purpose of evaluating the job that we're doing in educating our students and for the purpose of identifying problems and inequities within the school system. Speakers may offer objective criticism of school board operations and programs, but the board will not hear complaints about individual school personnel or other persons at a public session. Other channels provide for board consideration of complaints involving individuals, and in particular, these concerns should be addressed through the grievance procedure for handling complaints. The board's grievance procedure provides a mechanism for which these matters can come before the board if the grievance procedure did not resolve the concerns of the citizen. If you wish to speak in public input, please complete the public input form and present it to the board secretary prior to the beginning of the meeting. Public input requests are not accepted after the meeting begins. We welcome you tonight to our board meeting, and we'll have our opening items first. And I will turn over the Pledge of Allegiance and opening ceremony to Mrs. Dominguez, and she will introduce the participants.
Good evening, Madam President, Board. Good evening, everyone. We appreciate y'all coming tonight. Tonight I've invited Miss Melissa Ryan, is the principal at Martha Vineyard Elementary down in Ponchatoula, and she's brought, I think, the Beta Club, and then, of course, you see the band is here, so they're going to do our program. So, Miss Ryan, if you would like to introduce who's going to lead our pledge for us, and the other groups that you'd like to just introduce them.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Today for the pledge, we have two students, Peter Cranford. Come on down, Peter. Peter is one of our flag boys who raises and lowers our flag each day at our school, and he does an amazing job. In fact, he and his partners know when it's time for the flag to be at half-mast. Sometimes I'll say, why isn't it all the way up? And they know exactly why, and they just tell me, so I don't ever have to worry about it. They take care of it perfectly. And secondly, I have LaDamian Mack. LaDamian was just named as Tangipahoa Parish African American Honorary Service Award at the Tangipahoa Parish Library. And that award is open from 5th to 12th graders, and LaDamian is a 5th grader and one is a 5th grader, so we were so proud of him. He shows leadership skills every single day at Martha Vineyard, as does Peter and all of our students at Martha Vineyard. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them so they can lead us in the pledge.
Let's all stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you very much. Next, we'll have our band performing. Our director is Mr. Jeff. He does an amazing job, and I want to make sure that I say, because he might not say when I let him introduce our band, but I'm going to let him explain it better, but he was just awarded all ones at a very prestigious award ceremony, which is an amazing thing. So it's a really big deal, and he tries not to tell anybody, so we got to brag on him when we can.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Sicilian Board. Thank you. My name is Jeff Cardinella. I am the band director at Ponchatoula Junior High, and part of my daily class schedule includes me going over to Martha Vineyard, where I teach 5th grade band and 6th grade band. We have about 85 members in our band program, so we have a really large band program. I start 5th grade beginners that know nothing about band, and I'm able to continue them into the junior high, where, as Ms. Ryan just said, the junior high just went to district concert assessment at Fontainebleau High School, and they received sweepstakes, which means that they got a 1 overall on stage and a 1 in sight reading. So it's two superior ratings at district concert assessment. So we are the only school in Tangipahoa Parish that did receive that award. So we're very proud of our sweepstakes award. Martha Vineyard went to parish concert assessment last month at Ponchatoula High School. My bad. I should say my mistake. Tonight, these are some of the volunteers that came out tonight from the 6th grade band, and we're going to play one of our selections that we played at Parish Concert Assessment titled Dragon Slayer.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff. That was great. Great job,
Yes.
students. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Ms.
Do we
Ryan,
have
would you-
parents or anybody here that's with these individuals? We'd like for you to stand if you're here supporting this group.
All right, next we have our chorus who will be performing. Our chorus director is Miss Kathy Cranford.
Ron.
Maybe it's just
Miss Cranford is our 5th grade math teacher and also our district middle school teacher of the year. Give her a round of applause.
Tonight, we're going to sing our theme song from our spring musical, Impossible Made Possible, a song about heroes. From everyday people, they become heroes.
Thank you so much, chorus. Y'all did an amazing job.
Also, if there are individuals that are here in support of these young people, would you stand? Parents
Anyone
or
here with the
teachers
chorus?
or whatever? Thank you.
All right, and finally, last but certainly not least, we have our Beta Club. I'm going to bring up our sponsor, Miss March, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what these 5th graders and 6th graders are singing tonight.
Okay, so we're very excited because we are going to National Convention and representing Ponchatoula. We're representing Tangipahoa Parish, and we are so excited because we're going to go to Oklahoma City, and we are going to compete. Our 5th grade group went to state convention in Lafayette, and they placed 5th in the state. And so we're going to go and perform this Song Fest. Song Fest is where you take a song, a popular song that many of you will know, and we made it our own, and it's all about Beta Club. And so I'm going to go ahead and get quiet, realize that we are testing this week, so we really didn't have a lot of time to practice, and this is about a third of what should be up there, but these guys are amazing, so I'm going to go ahead and see what happens. So we're going to go and we're going to win.
Good job, guys.
At National Convention. Just went blank. She wants me to tell you all the wonderful things that we're going to National Convention in. And we are going to National Convention in Lead Out of the Box. We are going in, come on, betas, y'all help me, remind me. Rapid Response. What else? The one where we build. Ooh, 5th and 6th graders are going in the one that they build, and it's called, what's it called? Engineering. It is called engineering. See, that's what happens when you get up here and you're like, oops. But it was a test to see if the kids know what they're going in. Engineering. So we're so excited. And then we have our very own poet, Laureate. He is going to be representing us in poetry. He was up against 7th and 8th graders from all over the state, and he got what place?
3rd place.
3rd place in the state. So he's going to represent us. And we're going in other things too, but I just can't remember, and we're so excited. So come out to the Strawberry Festival and buy a turkey leg from us to help us get to Oklahoma City this summer.
All right, girl.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Beta Club parents here to stand.
Stand.
Thank y'all all so much for coming. We really appreciate the dynamics y'all have going on at Martha Vineyard. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you. It was a wonderful, wonderful program, and thank you, Ms. Dominguez. All right, next item, roll call. Here.
Present.
Here. Here.
Here.
Present. Here.
Present.
Present.
Thank you. Consider approval of the Board of Minutes for March the 19th, 2019. Do I
move.
have a motion by Mr. Toller?
Second.
Second by Mr. Westmoreland. Any objections? Motion carries. Next item, awards and recognitions. Item 2A, recognize the President's Student of the Month Award. I wanted to say this before we come forth. These are students throughout our district that are respectful and compassionate and great, and they may be on the honor roll, and they might be AB students, but they might not be. They just exhibit great, great compassion and care and respect for others, and they're leaders in their own right. And we've had some wonderful nominations, and anybody can nominate these individuals. And tonight, Mr. Duncan nominated Jared Brown, Hammond High Magnet School, and we're going to call up Jared and also Mr. Kiles and Ms. Gatos and Mr. Duncan to come forth. Jared, we want to present you with the President's Student of the Month Award for you being such an outstanding individual. We've read a lot about you, and these individuals are going to say a few words about you. So here's a special card to you with $20 in it and a certificate, all right? All right, I'm going to call on these individuals to say something about you.
So, what I want to tell you about Jared is that we need a lot more Jared Browns in Tangipahoa Parish. And this is why. Jared is passionate about, I'm sure, lots of things, but one of the things that he's particularly passionate about is expanding music and band and arts to the younger grades in our community. And Jared is one of those guys that when you try to tell him that something, well, maybe that there's challenges to getting something done, he's not going to necessarily just take your word for it. He wants to know and understand deeply what those challenges are. And then he's also not going to just waitle around for somebody else to fix the problem. And so I'll give you the story that the part that I'm aware of is about a year or so ago, I think somebody had told Jared that one of the problems or challenges involved with expanding band to the lower grades had something to do with the desegregation case. And so he asked to meet with me, and we met, what you think, maybe about an hour or so, Jared? And he basically examined and wanted to know everything that I could let him in on regarding the desegregation case. He then went on to do some homework on the topic himself, then heard about other challenges that might be working against this issue, like the need for funding for our facilities throughout the parish. And so Jared took on the task as one of his class projects, I believe, to do essentially a facilities needs assessment on his own. So Ms. Stilley, we need to involve him in this process. He's done a lot of this homework for us already. But the part that really impressed me is that he decided that he was not going to, we also talked about funding. And so he said, look, I want to help win over the public support to get the school system the funding that it needs to do this and other things. But all of that was not enough. What Jared ultimately did is he decided that he's not going to wait around for anybody else to solve this problem. He has offered his services to essentially volunteer to teach instruments and music to the middle schoolers at Hammond Eastside. And he has worked with Mr. Kiles, and I'll let him talk about it a little bit, but can I just read the letter that y'all sent out together? So this went out to 400 students at Hammond Eastside. He says, "Hi, my name is Jared Brown. I'm a student at Hammond High Magnet School. As part of my community service project," because, by the way, Jared is also an IB student at Hammond High, so he has a very intense coursework that he's been working on. But as part of that, he just doesn't have enough to do. He wanted to do this project. So this project would provide students in grades 6th through 8th grade an opportunity to receive instruction from myself, experienced instructors, as well as volunteer students from the high school. Hammond Eastside Magnet School students will learn how to read music and learn to play a band instrument. If your child, or if you or your child are interested in being part of this project, please complete the required information at the bottom of this form. He's got a little form that you fill out, and return it to the office by Monday, February 19th. The arts are a critical part of a complete education. Please help us bring the arts back into our schools by being a part of this project. We need your students to have the best education they can. There are no fees, and anyone is welcome to join at this time. Once all forms have been received, a meeting will be scheduled to discuss dates and times." So Jared took it upon himself to do this, and I believe that we all can follow Jared's example as a community, that if we have problems, we ought to all work hard to understand them, but we also all ought to do whatever it takes to tackle those problems and not wait around for somebody else to do it. And so Jared's doing that, and he deserves this recognition. Thank you.
Good evening. I can just kind of piggyback on what Mr. Duncan said. Jared came to me. I think he probably thought I was avoiding because he sent me like 3 emails like, "Hey, I emailed you." I'm like, "Hold on." So we ended up having a meeting, and so I explained to Jared that if this is something that you are passionate about, I mean, you're going to take the lead on it. So it was very little, I guess, I'm not going to say very little guidance from me, but more so me helping him focus his ideas. And so this is all him. That letter that he drafted was all him. And so pretty much all I am is like a facility space for him to be able to expand this vision that he has. So I'm very excited. I think we're at the point now where Jared is writing the curriculum. So he's going to present that to me. So I have an outline as to what he plans to cover. And I know music is his passion, but he's even tapping into like just the generic tutoring side. So, hey, can I come in the afternoons and tutor until it's time for us to start this program? So he's just wanting to help all around. And so not only is he invested in his future, but also the future of the younger students that will come up in this parish as well. So I think I couldn't think of anybody else that is worthy of this honor, so I'm glad to be able to be a person to help him to achieve his goals. So thank you.
So I always tell everybody that he's going to be one of those students that's going to change the world. It starts with music, but it also goes into anything. If there's something that he is passionate about, you will get the most respectful, professional, grown-up email from him saying, "This is what I think, this is what I want to do," well thought out. So there are a lot of adults that could learn a lot from him because he's not afraid to take it on. He does it in a way that is beyond respectful, and I am just so thankful that he makes me look good every day. So we are very proud of him, and I cannot, again, think of a better person for this award.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to my parents and my grandpa out in the audience and the administrators behind me. Because without you, I wouldn't have this award in my hand. Just thank you very much for recognizing the work that I put in every day.
recognize his family. Would you stand up? That's the individuals that are with. Who are they? Recognize them. Who are the parents? Tell them.
Yes. Yes. My mom, Marjorie Brown, my dad, Foster Brown, and my grandpa, James Square. My grandpa, Mr. James Square.
All of wow. Wow. He said he plays all the instruments. I like it. Good job, buddy.
His mom. Wow, that's awesome.
He probably.
Somebody needs to go ahead and hire him.
She was our band director. I guess it's in his blood. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't play.
We have been doing this award every month, but the bar has just been set pretty high.
Again, this is a reminder of what it's all about, why we do what we do as educators and as school board members. This really just brings it all home tonight by the performances we've seen and by this young man and his potential and what he's done to contribute to those in his school district. It's just amazing. So we're really excited about it. The next item would be recognize the 2019 Strawberry Festival royalty. Ms. Dominguez.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Thank you, everyone, for coming and for y'all staying to see that great achievement. Maybe one day y'all will do one of those projects. Tonight I come to recognize the Strawberry Festival and the royalty, as well as the Strawberry Festival Board. As a former chairman of the Strawberry Festival and a member of the community that this festival helps, our whole parish, it helps all of us. And every year they bring in thousands and thousands of people that helps the economy of our area. So I like to, pretty much every year since I've been on the board, I've taken the opportunity or been allowed the opportunity to recognize them. So this year, I'd like to do it again, and I'd like to also acknowledge their royalty coordinator, Ms. Charlene Bruce, who organizes them all year and brought them here tonight for us to recognize. So our festival is coming up in next weekend, not this coming Friday, tomorrow, but next weekend. So make sure you make it down to Ponchatoula. But first I'd like to bring up Ms. Stacy Miller, who is their chairman this year. Ms. Stacy grew up in Hammond, but she's lived in Ponchatoula pretty much her whole adult life. She served on the Strawberry Board as a voting member for the JCs. And then she moved on to secretary for the Strawberry Board, and then, of course, she decided she wanted to be chairman, which entails a 3-year commitment. You're chairman-elect.
Because, parents get frantic, and when we ask, well, what were they wearing? That's a frantic situation. You're talking about thousands and thousands of people on the ground at one time, and they're like, I don't remember. So a lot of people have started doing that. They're like, I have a picture. We're like, great. Some people have started putting their phone, like a little bracelet with their phone number on it, so if their child gets separated, the sheriff's department can just call them. So just little tidbits like that we'll be putting out during the week. Share them, come out, and with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Heidi.
Good evening. I'm your Louisiana Strawberry Queen 48, Heidi Carrier. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank the board for having us here today. I'm very grateful for all of you, and also Miss Stacy, I said you just forgot it.
Okay, I did forget one thing. I just wanted to thank the school board for giving our Ponchatoula schools a half a day off on that Friday. It's not, we didn't ask for it so that people would come to the festival. Yes, we want you to come to the festival, but it's a safety issue. With the buses in town trying to get around the park, just through town, it has grown so much. There's so much set up in town. There's delivery trucks all day and things like that. So we honestly asked, for the safety of the children that, just let them out a half a day. So we had sent a card, but I just wanted to thank y'all in person. Thank you very much.
All right.
Next weekend, we have a weekend full of fun and excitement, and I just want to take this opportunity to invite all of you to our wonderful festival. We have something that's for people of all ages. For our children, we'll have our rides and our games and prizes, and of course, any kind of dessert you would like that has strawberries in it. For our adults, we have 2 stages that constantly have live entertainment on them. So for all ages, you'll be occupied at the festival, and we are just truly so excited to be here and to extend this invitation to you. We hope to see all of your beautiful faces there. Thank you.
Well, it's my turn now. I'd like to thank the board for having us up here tonight. Miss Rose wanted me to bring my cowbell and sing tonight, but I told her I better not do that for her. We had enough of that. And I did graduate out of Ponchatoula High School. It might have took me a couple extra years, but we made it. But I'd like to welcome all y'all to Ponchatoula next weekend for a fun weekend. It's a family deal. Bring your kids. The kids will have a blast. Adults will have a blast too. And y'all have a real sweet time. Thank y'all.
I want to say thank you to the board and congratulate all the awards. The entertainment was awesome. Really enjoyed that. Very good. Thank you very much.
Well, I think everything was said that needed to be said, but we're just going to invite you again to come to the festival. It's a great time. It's a great time. And I thank the board for having us. And like I said, we'd like to see you all come. Have a good time.
The parade starts at 9:30. Down Main Street. Be there, please.
The next item is recognize the City of Independence Alderman and the 2019 Sicilian Festival Board. Ms. Abrams.
I don't know if many of you know, but Tangipahoa Parish has the most fairs and festivals in any parish in the state. Starting with the Strawberry Festival over in Ponchatoula, going all the way down to Kentwood. I am on the Independent Sicilian Heritage Festival Board, and we're a very proud Italian community there in Independence. Our alderman and part of our board is here tonight because they want to do a special recognition to Miss Stilley. Independence, we feel like, has been put on the back burner in some years in the past, and we're trying to make our schools better and bigger and brighter like they used to be. And our aldermen and our mayor have really put a lot of work into it, and we want to commend Ms. Stilley for giving her the efforts to coming to Independence and showing her concern to us over the last few months that she has been superintendent. So if we could, we can have our mayor and our aldermen and our Sicilian Festival Board to please come forward. We have our chairman for 2019, Ms. Lisa Payne, our co-chairman, Mr. Larry Cardinella, which his son was actually the band director for Martha Vineyard just a little while ago. So he's raised a fine young man as a band director. He is also an alderman in Independence. We have one of our board members, Ms. Jeanette Patnella, our mayor, Mr. Angelo Menino, and another alderman, Mr. Jim Payne.
Robin, we thank you for having us here tonight. This is something that's a big surprise, especially when I got to see my son Jeffrey come up here and perform too. You know, I said, that man, this is fantastic. But you know, I like to thank the board for all that y'all doing for us. All I can tell y'all better go get some good tennis shoes to keep up with Miss Stilly, because y'all going to be running behind her. She is doing a great job, and with y'all's support, I think we're going to move forward. Ms. Stilly, at this time, on behalf of the Independence Sicilian Festival and the town of Independence, we'd like to make a presentation to you. This is our 2019 Sicilian Festival poster. I want to present that to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We just had our festival back in March. We were blessed with beautiful, beautiful weather for the first time in 6 years. So we were very thankful, and we wish the Strawberry Festival the best of luck this coming weekend, because we know that they need great weather in order to make a festival successful. It takes a lot of work. And what we want to instill in the children in the community is to go out and be philanthropists. Get involved with your nonprofits and your festival boards, because it's going to take younger generations, just like the kids in school now, to keep our festivals going and for nonprofit organizations to keep going. So encourage your children to get out there and be involved in nonprofit organizations.
I wouldn't touch that one.
That's funny.
I'd like to add one more thing to the board, out of here. This year, Independence High School come to us and want fundraisers. And the board, the town really gave them support. We've done 3 fundraisers. We've done the first one for the boys basketball. We've done the second one for the girls basketball. And we've done one for the baseball team, okay? And those 3, but we only had just a few weeks to do everything in. But we raised over $10,000 and donated it to these athletes for the year.
That's great. That's wonderful. All right, thank you, Ms. Abrams. The next item is consider committee reports. 3A, Capital Outlay Committee of the Whole, March 19th, 2019. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Mingus and a second by Mr. Toller. Do we have any objections? So moved. Motion passes. Item 3B, Personnel Committee, March the 19th, 2019.
Move to adopt.
All right, Mr. Toller, Mr. Toller made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Janice. Any objection? Motion passes. Personnel Committee, April the 4th, 2019. A motion?
We skipped finance.
Oh, I sure did. Finance Committee, sorry. March the 25th, 2019.
So move.
All right, Mr. Toller made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was it?
Mr. Jerry.
Okay, Mr. Jerry Moore, second the Finance Committee. Do I have any objections? Motion passes. Now, Personnel Committee, April 4th, 2019. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion by Mr. Mingus. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Westmoreland. Are any objections? Motion passes. Number 4, superintendent's reports and our recommendations. And the first item is to consider approval to refer revisions to policy BBC board committees to the policy committee.
Yes, I just asked the board to approve sending this particular policy for review for our next policy meeting.
Motion to send it to policy.
All right, Mr. Toller made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Mingus made the second. Do we have any objections? Motion passes. Item B, consider approval to seek request for proposal for student information system software. Ms. Stilley.
Yes, currently this is in regards to our student information system that keeps up with attendance and grades and all kinds of other information for our students that we submit onto the state level. And we would like to do an RFP to go out on bids for this particular service.
All right. Do I have a motion? So moved. A motion by Mr. Duncan. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Mr. Bush. Any objection? Motion passes. Item C, report on the 2019 National School Boards Conference.
Yes, I would like to ask our board president to enter into the record the attendance of our board to earn their required continuous learning hours at the National School Board Conference. All board members were in attendance with the exception of Mr. Bush, and Mr. Bush had a prior commitment that he didn't want to, miss. So, and I don't blame him on that commitment. It was his daughter. It's for his daughter. So, I just want to enter that into the record so that we can track and document our professional learning for our board.
All right. Personal privilege. Board member comments. Mr. Westmoreland.
Thank you. I'd just like to say I was very pleased with the trip to Philadelphia to learn more from nationwide of school board associations. And one of the things that always piqued my interest at the state level was having programs in our high schools to have students to learn a vocation, to become an apprenticeship. Because we know that all students are not going to go to college. There's a lot of students that are not interested in that and want to learn a vocation. And this early learning of a vocation will help these students become very productive members in our society. And it's something that I'd like to look into with the community college and the school and employers to come together to see if we can't offer our students these type programs. So again, I was very glad and very pleased to be able to go and learn some more on this. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Mingus.
Just actually want to say how much we appreciate an opportunity that the school system does allow us to go to these trainings, because in order for us to improve, we have to continually learn, just like any profession. And there are just thousands and thousands of classes that you can choose from. So no matter what you're interested in, if it's superintendent board relations or technology or curriculum or social media, there are so many things that you can go into to learn a better way to do it, and really, really appreciate it. I took some very interesting classes, and I hope to be able to incorporate those in the future of my job as a school board member.
All right, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, I agree that the convention was extremely helpful. There are a lot of things that freshman members of the school board would really have to dig into and research. and going to to the conventions. There were many forums that talked about the very things that I'm most passionate about, and gained a tremendous amount of resources that I intend to use to actually make some of those passions and those things that I'm concerned about come into fruition.
Thank you. Mr. Bush?
Thank you, Mr. President.
And Randy's jealous.
Well, I'm scared of flying. What can I say? I didn't go. Actually, we're making plans next year to take a train out here. I'm all in, guys. Glad you had fun. I want to talk about something really serious that happened at one of our schools this week, and obviously it was a lot of things out there that was said, and we saw a video, but I just want to concentrate on this tonight. I put out a statement on Facebook about treating our students with respect this week, and I would like to just commend our community because it has been very peaceful at Ponchatoula Junior High this week. Those students were able to test. They were safe, and I just want the whole community. This is not over. We all realize that. But this week, we pulled together and we let our kids go to that school, and they felt good. And I was by that school every day this week, and I would just like to commend our whole Ponchatoula and Tangipahoa Parish. Thank you for handling this with class and dignity. And I can promise you, Miss Stilley has this situation and her staff, and we've been discussing it at the appropriate and proper time. I don't know when that's going to be, because but something will be said later. But thank you, community, for helping us out for our kids there. It's been a really quiet weekend. I really appreciate it.
Ms. Stilley?
Yes, I just wanted to say a couple things. Following the conference, we had some of our board members that had picked up on some different things in some of their sessions. One, Rose was telling me about a buffer app where you can post on like Facebook, and it will also post your stuff on Instagram and Twitter. So
Did you go do it?
Yes,
You
I did. I tried that, and I thought it's going to definitely save time. The other thing that Tom had shared with me about was having academic updates on every board agenda, where we just highlight a little, maybe 10 minutes on some piece of our academics. And so I talked to Mr. Jenko and Mr. Vassell, and at our next board meeting, Lisa's going to give us an update on ACT. And all that we do to help prepare kids for that. And then I think the following one, she wants to do something on our career pathways and vocational technical stuff. So I think that was a very good suggestion. And, so that's just some examples of feedback already of things that we're actually putting in place right now. So thank y'all for sharing that with me.
Okay, Mr. Toller?
I'm glad my wife was here to hear Miss Stilley say I had a good recommendation.
You did.
Because I don't have but like 2 a year, so I've got one behind me. But the conference was very good. It is encouraging to meet with other school board members from around the nation to find that we have similar problems as far as funding. We have similar issues throughout our schools. Mm-hmm. But to further talk about what Mr. Westmoreland was saying, not a matter of students, not all students go to college, but not all jobs require college degrees. Mm-hmm. So when we think about our economy and we think about economic development, we have to look at what our industry is looking for. If an industry, as a car wash, I've hired someone from Ole Miss with a Parks and Recreation degree to work at the car wash. Not every job requires, so it's not that we're not looking to do the best for every student, it's what does our industry need? Mm-hmm. And are we filling the positions that our community needs? So I believe there's going to be some future meetings between the school board and our economic development team to see what are we doing to match our businesses. And Ms. Stilley's already started some initiatives having businesses come in. Mm-hmm. So hats off to those things. The second thing I want to say is still say a prayer for the students that are taking testing. Mm-hmm. That is a big deal.
And the teachers.
And the teachers. That's a big deal that's going on right now. And, too many times the negative stuff takes the headlines, but behind the scenes, with all the negative stuff that's being played out, there's a lot of good teachers, there's a lot of good events, and a lot of good learning that's happening at our schools. So hats off to those teachers that are doing a great job.
All right, Ms. Richards.
First of all, I'd like to say that to remind us of how nice the 4-H Fest was over at the arena. Had an opportunity to go over there, and that was just brilliant. The kids participated. Also, the conference was very good, and I think it's very good for especially new board members to go and to learn and to see what's going on in other places so that we can bring some implementation here. I'm proud to say right now, and hate that we can't be there because we have the board meeting, that the Warriors are receiving having their athletic banquet, and they're receiving their state championship rings tonight. Also, I'd like to thank the board for showing up on last night where Kentwood High School, Rue Pride, received their rings. So I'd like to say thank you, board, for showing up at Kentwood High School. Now, on another note, I have to say that I extend my deepest apologies to the Truly family. As a mother and grandmother, it was heartbreaking and brought me to my knees. I have been informed by our superintendent that there is a full-fledged investigation that includes all students, faculty, and procedures involved. I am awaiting the findings, and at which time I do expect the appropriate actions that would initiate our healing. I ask that our community please let us as adults demonstrate the core values that we are trying to instill in our children, to remain respectable and compassionate. And for then, we will remember when this is over that justice is rendered and we are great. Thank you.
Mr. Duncan.
Repeat everything she just said on that. That was wonderful. Good job. Hammond High has, I don't think we've talked about our Prostart winners, our champ. They made a wonderful showing again at their state competition. Want to congratulate, Hammond High Prostart team. And then I think in 2 weeks, the engineering Torbotics folks are going to be heading off to the world competition. So they did what they needed to do at the regional, is that the right way to say it? That's correct. Regional level, and they're now heading up to the world competition again. So let's all support them and congratulate them. I know they'll do wonderful there, and go out and watch Mary Poppins at Ponchatoula High School this coming up week. I know.
Hammond, is it Ponchatoula? Oh, it is, okay.
Tonight, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But it
that's
goes,
right.
keeps
That's
on. I think we got
Tomorrow, Saturday, I think it's 7, 3 nights in a row, and then Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 2.
Yeah.
They always do such a good job.
Yeah.
My family's there tonight.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Abrams.
Yes, we had a great time learning and bonding with, as a board in Philadelphia as well. A lot of people don't realize there's 5 new board members that sit on this board, and we're newbies, and we have to learn. And this is where we get our knowledge, is to go to these conferences. So, when people say, oh, they're out at a conference, we're actually in classes and we're learning, and we want y'all to know that. And we're doing what's best for the children of Tangipahoa Parish. And we did learn a lot. And, as far as what happened at Ponchatoula Junior High, please remember there's 2 sides to every story, and the truth is in the middle. And our superintendent will get to the truth, believe me. And we will make sure that everybody is going to see what needs to be done, and Ms. Stilley is going to make sure that that happens, and justice will be served. Just remember that.
I just want to repeat what I said earlier when Jared Brown, Hammond High School student, came up, and we heard all about the things that he is doing to contribute to that school and to society. I can't get him out of my mind. I can't get the whole presentation out of my mind. But this is really what I wanted to see happen when I became president of the board, that our focus would be on young people that just put their best foot forward, and they do all they can to make things better for other individuals. That's right. That's right. And I'll remember it for a long time. And also, too, I want to say that in the conference, I got something a little different out of it, I guess because I've been on the board so long, but I was so excited to go to many of the meetings, and I'd say, well, we're already doing that at several of them. And it made me really, really proud that we've already got that going, and say in career ed and also, too, in our reading programs and all. So that made me feel real good about that. There was a lot of focus on career ed and being able to get our kids equipped for education, a career ed beyond a college degree. But anyway, I appreciate that opportunity to be there. All right, any other comments?
Oh, Ms. President, one thing is, Laranja is having Career Day tomorrow at Laranja High School. They're having a Career Day over at Laranja High School during the day.
Tomorrow all day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought it up. All right, then, litigation, 6A, consider the case. Usually Mr. Duncan likes to read these.
I'll do it, yes.
Go ahead.
Move that we enter into executive session to consider the case of Joyce Marie Moore versus Tangipahoa Parish School Board and the case of Harold et al. Versus Aaron, with Banks and McGee versus Tangipahoa Parish School Board. And a second.
All right. Executive session. Mr. Duncan? We have a motion.
I didn't say anything. Move to adopt council's recommendation on the litigation B item. I don't, I need to see it.
Yeah, we didn't have any action on A, I don't think.
Yeah, no action on A.
But B, consider the Harold case.
Yeah.
I second his motion.
All right. No objection? Passes. Board adjourned.